Hello. So today's video I'm going to talk about portfolio. Now there are many questions students ask me regarding portfolio. Starting first is, what is portfolio? Why do you make a portfolio? Why is it so important? How many pages are included in a portfolio? What should be included in a portfolio? Things like what is the size of a portfolio, and how many times do one have to make portfolio? So there are many questions students have, and this video I'm going to talk about all of these.
Hi, I'm Bhargavi Raval and I am a fashion mentor.
Okay, so starting first with what is portfolio. So portfolio is basically a visual representation of your work. Whatever you have done in your college, whatever your forte is, whatever your skills, your speciality is, you put it in your drawings, your design, you put it in a folder. So that's what a portfolio is, right? Now in today's time, when you have to advertise yourself, you have to sell yourself, better the portfolio, higher the chances of you to get a job or an admission in a college. Now that was what is portfolio. So the next question, when do we make a portfolio? There are two kinds of portfolio. One is when you want to apply for a design college. So in India, with NIFT or other colleges, they have their entrance exam. But when you're applying to colleges abroad like FIT or Parsons or St. Martin's, you have to show the portfolio. Now that portfolio which you make for the college admission is completely different from the portfolio which you make it after you completed your designing course. Now this video I'm going to talk about the portfolio after you've completed your designing course, when you're applying for a job. So this video is all about the portfolio you make before you apply for the job. So usually the mistake what students do is all the work which they have done in this 3 years, what they do is they'll put it everything, jumble it up together and put it in a portfolio, and then they feel this is what a portfolio is supposed to be. No, you can't put your first year's embroidery project into your portfolio. What you need to do is, every time you apply for a job, understand what the company is making. So say for example they are into menswear, make a collection especially on a menswear, put it in, it should be a part of your portfolio. So if you're applying for a company who's completely into Pret, then you can't go with your couture and demi couture collection. Make one special Pret line, no? So they will understand that okay, you can, it's not only that you make only couture dresses or high fashion dresses, you know how to make a Pret collection also. So it is very important that you have to tweak your portfolio according to the place where you are applying. The foremost rule, you have to update your portfolio every time you apply for a job. It has to be according to the company's profile. What they make, you have to make a collection on that line. So the next important question, what is the size of portfolio and what format? Now technically a A3 size is an ideal size. It should not be very big and it should not be very small. Another thing is, it could be a digital portfolio. In today's time, yeah, you can, it's always better to have a digital form also. So if somebody wants to see your collection, you can directly send your portfolio online. So you can do that. So you can have a digital portfolio, or even if it's a physical portfolio, it could be a printout of your digital work, compiled work, or it could be like a manual thing. It's more tactile, when you compile everything, you cut the designs and you cut your embroidery samples and you cut your mood pictures and color boards, and you can compile it together. So it could be that also. So that is completely according to your wish. It has to be an extension of your personality. So if you are somebody who's more tactile and you want to make those kind of things, even that is completely fine, right? So that is the size and the format. Now the most important question, how many collections? So I think ideally 3 to 4 collections should be more than enough. Of course, as I said, the first most important is you should include one collection which is in sync with the company you are applying. Second could be your graduating Shoka collection, because that's your last collection which you have done, and you will have a photographic evidence also, the actual photograph of the garments and everything. And then one could be whatever your forte is. Say for example, if you're into major into prints, or if you're into surface fabric ornamentation, or you're completely into menswear, whatever your forte is. So I think 3 to 4 collection is more than enough. Anything more than that, you will lose the person who's looking at it will just lose the interest. Very important thing before you start your collection is to do the forecast. You need to understand the trend, the silhouettes, do your research, do your forecast, understand what is the color of the season, what is the trend. You have to update yourself, you have to upgrade yourself. So starting first with a cover page. Now what should be included in a cover page? It could be just your name, or if you have a label for yourself, you can have a name of your label. Make it as clean, as simplified as possible. Again, it should be an extension of your personality, so stick to that. So the font which you use, the size you use, make it as simple, and there should be clarity. So that becomes your first page, that's your cover page. So starting first with the first page of your collection, that is your mood board and your inspiration board. Now this is one advice which I always tell my student, that before you start your collection, before you finalize on your mood board, please shortlist 4-5 moods, 4-5 inspiration, start all of them together, do your reference work. There are times when you have selected a mood, you've selected a theme and you're very excited that, oh, this sounds really interesting, but once you start doing research on it, once you start compiling things, and then you feel, oh, there's a roadblock, I really don't know what to do and I don't know how to go further. So it's okay, because you're a student, you are learning, start with 4-5 and venture into all of them. And then once you have done reference work, and once you have started working, doing research on all of them, the one which excites you the most, the one which has got lots of reference, one which you relate to, stick to that. So but don't do it that, okay, I've decided I'll do this, and then somewhere down the line you go, and then because you have already decided, you made it, बस मुझे यही करना है, and then कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, but फिर भी लगे हो, and eventually your whole collection is not fun collection. So don't do that. It's okay, start with few, and it's okay if you face a roadblock, you have 4-5 other shortlisted. So once that is done, select the best one and then go ahead, right? So that is your mood board. Now what is mood board and what all should be included? Now there are two kind of inspiration. One could be a subjective, another could be very objective. So when I talk about objective, I have lots of reference. So it could be a Mayan civilization, Aztec, or it could be Taj Mahal, as simple as that. It could be ocean, it could be anything which I can see. So I have lots of photographs, I have lots of reference work which I could include in my mood board. Another is subjective, is what I feel. So say for example, metamorphosis, or my inner devil, or those subjective things which are more emotional. Now it's completely up to you. If you can relate to the subjective thing, go ahead and do it. It could be your interpretation, and it could turn out really, really creative. But if not, it's very easy to take a theme or your inspiration, something which is more objective. So you have the reference pictures and then you compile them together, and that's how your mood board is compiled. So your mood board need to have photographs of your inspiration. So your whole mood board could consist of only one photograph. I've seen amazing mood boards just by using one photograph, and that photograph is so impressive. It has so many things to talk about, and there's so many colors in it, or it's just enough. So that is also fine. But if you say, for example, if you're doing Aztec, or if you're doing Egyptian, and then you have so many photographs, you have so many reference work. So compilation of this photograph is your mood board. Now along with this mood board, out of these mood boards comes your color board. Now what is color board? Color board is basically all the colors which you're going to use in your collection. mood board cannot have different color tone, and your color board cannot have something different story, right? It has to be interrelated. Usually the color board always derived from your mood board or your inspiration board. You can also have a storyboard wherein you can write something about your inspiration, where you can talk about how you have conceived an idea, how you got inspired by that thing, and how you as a person look at that collection, and how do you how do you understand that idea. So your interpretation, so your thought process, your design process, you can write it in your storyboard. Then coming to your fabric board. Now fabric board is very important. You need to include the fabric swatch. Now if you're doing surface ornamentation, if you're developing a fabric, all this has to be included. If you're getting your embroidery done, get your embroidery samples also in it. If you're getting a print developed, so if you're getting a print done, you need to have a print swatch also included in your fabric board. So if you're using laces, or if you're using any different kind of haberdasheries, include all that thing. That is very important, right? So once the fabric board, the embroidery board is established, you can also include as I said, in your, either you can include a client profile in your storyboard, or you can have a complete different page or different board for client profile. So it could talk about the socio-economical background of your client, and the range you're working on. Is it casual? The whole research, the market research and the marketing strategy. So all that also could be included in your portfolio. That will show the person who is looking at your portfolio that, yeah, this person knows how a business is done, or they know what market is and the marketing strategy included. So if you want to add few lines, add it. I think it's always an added advantage. So things like where do you plan to sell your collection, which are the different ways where you can market or sell your product, so include that also. Then comes your design development. Now for me, it's very important that I usually ask my students to make lots and lots of sketches. There are times when for 7 final sketches they have done more than 100 sketches. And I personally feel that the first 5-10 sketches which you draw are all very cliche, they're very common, and they are your first ideas. Always make it a habit that the first 5-10 ideas, tear it off, because they're very, only after your 10th sketch, the oiling is done, and then your creative juices starts working. So that's what my say is that make design developments, do rough sketches, do at least 40, 50, 60 n number of sketches. Then once your design development and the whole thing is ready, then what you can do is, okay, I like neckline of this, I feel this sleeves is very interesting, and then you can compile it together. Or might be, the whole thing is very nice, the silhouette, I'm liking the silhouette of this, but I'm liking trousers or pants of this. So you can compile it together. So if you have the whole range, your ideas jotted down, now your design development could be just a black and white rough sketches. It could be on loose sheets also, which if you want you can include it, or it could be optional. So you can make click the photograph, make it a miniature thing, and then put it together. Or because you don't want to make, show them 50 sketches, no, not that way, but at least they know that before you finalize on your 7th sketch, you have really thought, you have really worked on your ideas, you have played with your creative mind, and you then making all this thing, you have churned out the best, right? That makes sense. So that goes for your design development. Once your design development is done, as I told you, don't put all the photographs, make a miniature thing, click it, make it into a miniature version, and then add it. Again, black and white sketches. Then comes your lineup. So what you do is, the best of your 7, 8 in your collection, how many ever you want to do. So 7 to 8, you have a lineup. So one page includes all your sketches. That's your lineup. Once the lineup is done, then you start one sketch at a time. Now draw one sketch, along with it write down the fabric used, write down the embroidery, give the detailing. So along with the sketch you need to have your tech pack ready. Now tech pack is your technical drawing, so your flat patterns, how many inch the yoke is, how many inch for the belt, and if it's got a pocket, what kind of pocket, and what is the finishing for that pocket. So all that is a must, very very important. Again, the fabric consumption for this design. So every sketch, every final sketch will have the final illustration, which is completely illustrated, the front, the back. If possible, if there's an importance on the side, then you need to have a side view also. You need to include the tech pack, that is the fabric consumption, the flat pattern. If you have using lining, and you're using canvas, you're using zip, so all that detailing also. The embroidery sample if possible along with the sketch. So similarly you will do that with all your 7 sketches. That means your final illustration, your front view, the back view, your tech pack, your costing, your fabric consumption, the embroidery samples, everything, each and every page. So each and every design, so if there are 7 final sketches, you will have 7 different pages for each design. Now another very important thing which I always want my student to do is a lookbook. Now you need to actually make those dresses. So if you are having 3 collections, 3 to 4 collections in your portfolio, even if you don't have all the garments actually made, but at least have one collection which is actually made, and then you have a photo shoot of that. So even if it's not like 7 dresses, if they are like 4 dresses, that is also fine, but have a photo shoot done, create a lookbook, get it professionally done, not like a selfie thingy. Please make it very professional, because this is your portfolio and you're going for a job interview. So take your work very seriously. At least your lookbook should be very professionally done, edit it nicely. Now a lookbook could be a smaller size, it could be a smaller booklet which is included along with your portfolio. So even that is fine, but have a lookbook. To have a lookbook in your portfolio is very important. Another thing is you need to always date your collection. So whatever your collection is, you need to talk about it was autumn, winter, or spring, summer 2020, or it was, or like 2019 you've done this collection. Because say for example you go for an interview after 3 years, they need to understand that this collection was designed 3 years back. The style has changed, the trend has changed, so your collection does not look outdated. Again, as I told you, every time you go for an interview, update your collection, because you can't go for and show them a collection which is 7 years old. In this 7 years you have also grown, you have also learned something, right? So update your portfolio every time you go for an interview. Okay, so before we conclude this video, let's go back and do the revision. So your portfolio consists of 3 to 4 collections. Your one collection consists of at least 10 to 15 pages depending upon the number of designs you have. Preferably the first collection have a bigger in-depth collection, and your second and third could be a mini collection. That should be fine. Now your one collection includes first your mood board, your inspiration board, your color board, and your fabric swatches, your embroidery samples, and whatever haberdasheries you're using, please include that. Once that thing is done, then comes your DDB, that is your design development. As I told you, those rough sketches. Along with your rough sketches, then comes your one full page, which is your lineup. Once the lineup is done, then comes your final single sketches. Now this sketch will include the details. It will include the tech pack, that is the flat sketch, that is your technical drawing, your fabric consumption, costing, and all those technical details, along with your final illustration with the coloring, right? So if you have 7 sketches, you'll have 7 different pages for each and every sketch. So that is what your one collection will have. Similarly, you will have 2-3 collection. In one of the collection, it has to have a lookbook. It has to have a photograph of the actual dresses. So if your portfolio compiles all this thing, I think it's an ideal portfolio. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to keep making this interesting videos. Please subscribe to the channel to get more and more information regarding fashion designing. Thank you.